Right, Rangers, things are really heating up at Rangers. We've got new signings jetting into Glasgow, big names linked with EXITS, and Felipe Clement dropping cryptic clues about what's next in this transfer window. Rafael Fernandez has landed. Could he be the defensive answer we've been crying out for? Meanwhile, Tom Lawrence might be off to Turkey, but there's a twist that could flip this story on its head. And just wait until you hear about the player Rangers are desperate to shift, but can't seem to find the right deal for. Sound familiar? Plus, talks over Ridvan Yilmaz are taking a dramatic turn, with Besiktas refusing to back down. Will Clement fight to keep him, or is this the chance to cash in? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where Rangers stand and what could be coming next. Right, so it looks like young Rafael Fernandez is making moves, eh? 22 years old, 6'3", and already loitering around Rangers' training ground. By the sounds of it, Lille are happy to let him head out on loan since he hasn't managed to crack their first team yet. Fair enough. Everybody's got to start somewhere. And let's face it, with the injuries piling up in our defense like empty pint glasses on a Friday night, Felipe Clement is probably relieved to see another pair of boots arriving. He's already signed the contract, posted pictures on social media wearing the Rangers shirt, and said he can't wait to get out on the pitch. That shows he's fully committed and ready for the challenge. Now, the big question is whether he'll go straight into the starting 11 or if Clement will ease him in gradually. Either way, the lad's excitement is a great sign. It seems like he's determined to make an impact. Meanwhile, we're still being linked with Yilmar Ekdal, a big Swedish lad with a bit of an injury history. Burnley might let him go, but do we really want to risk it? It's a bit like buying a car with a just needs a bit of work sticker. Could be a bargain, or it could end up on bricks in the driveway. So here's the question for you lot. Should we be gambling on untested prospects like Fernandez, or should Rangers be splashing out for a proven defender to shore up the back line? Get stuck into it. So it looks like Tom Lawrence might be heading for the exit, eh? Besiktas have their eyes on him, and let's be honest, if the Turks are offering to take him off our hands and free up a bit of cash, you'd have to say it's a no-brainer. On £22,000 a week and spending more time in the treatment room than on the pitch, Lawrence has hardly been what you'd call value for money, has he? It's not that he's a bad player when he's fit. The lad can do a job, but therein lies the rub, Ladinaj, when he's fit. Felipe Clement is clearly on a mission to clear out the deadwood and bring in players who can actually stay on the park. Fair play to him too. A £500,000 saving is nothing to scoff at, and it could be used to bring in some younger, hungrier legs. You've got to think this aligns with the whole Phase 2 rebuild Clement's cracking on with. We're already hearing whispers about Besiktas sniffing around, and given Lawrence's history with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, there's probably some genuine interest there. If he goes, it's a win-win for everyone. So here's one to chew on. Should Rangers be ruthless in binning players who can't stay fit, even if it means losing someone with genuine quality like Lawrence? Or does this squad need loyalty and patience to balance things out? Have at it. Well, it sounds like we're in for another thrilling transfer window, doesn't it? Felipe Clement's basically come out and said, don't hold your breath. Apparently, shifting players off the books is still priority number one before any new arrivals can saunter through the doors at Rangers. That's hardly news to us, though, is it? Been the same old story for years, like trying to sell a second-hand sofa with a dodgy leg. But beyond that, a pre-contract for Lyle Cameron, a rumored South American centre-half. It's not exactly setting the pulse racing, is it? Meanwhile, players like Tom Lawrence and Kieran Dowell are being quietly ushered toward the exit, and the checkbooks staying firmly shut until they're gone. You've got to feel for Clement. He's being left to juggle the same old squad while trying to keep the fans on side. Sure, he promises to shout from the rooftops as soon as a deal's done, but you'd be forgiven for thinking he'll be whispering rather than yelling at this rate. So here's a fiery one for you. Is the club's financial caution sensible planning, or are Rangers just spinning their wheels while other teams strengthen? Should we demand more ambition in the market, or are we risking the future by chasing short-term fixes? Dive in. Are Cyril Desert, a name that's quickly gone from hopeful signing to please someone take him off our hands? Rangers are apparently looking to shift him permanently, but here come Caleri with a loan offer instead. No strings attached. Typical, isn't it? Like someone borrowing your car but refusing to commit to buying it once they've driven it around for a bit. 13 goals and 4 assists in 32 games isn't exactly a disaster, but let's be real, it's not the output you want from a forward brought in to lead the line. And if Clement's mostly been using him off the bench since November, that tells you everything about where he stands in the pecking order. Still, you can see why Caleri are hesitating. They're waiting to see if there's a better option out there, playing it safe with a loan proposal here for now. Meanwhile, Rangers would love nothing more than to wash their hands of it and free up some wages. A loan with an obligation to buy could work, but even that feels like Caleri trying to hedge their bets. No one's exactly queuing up to get Dezers, and that leaves us in limbo again. It's the same old song, trying to move players on but being hamstrung by clubs who won't meet our terms. So here's the hot question for you. Is it time Rangers stopped being picky about permanent deals and just took the loan to move players like Dezers on? Or should we dig our heels in, even if it means being stuck with players we're desperate to offload? What do you think? Well, here we go again. Besiktas sniffing around for Ridvan Yilmaz, and Rangers seemingly playing hardball. It's a bit of a puzzler, this one. The lad's been in the starting lineup for the past 6 league games, so it's not like Philippe Clement doesn't rate him. But you do wonder if the club's hierarchy sees this as an opportunity to cash in while there's interest brewing in Turkey. The Turkish media reckon Besiktas are still keen, especially with Arthur Masuaku potentially on his way out. And let's not forget, Yilmaz came through their youth ranks, so they probably see it as a bit of a homecoming story. It's all very poetic until you remember we've got him tied down until 2027. If Besiktas want him, they'll need to come back with an offer that's a bit more serious. None of this lowball nonsense, thanks very much. Now, factor in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's involvement as their new manager. Whether he actually fancies Yilmaz is another story entirely. He might want someone more experienced, or he could decide the lad's perfect for their setup. Either way, we're not exactly overrun with left-back options ourselves, so letting him go would be a bit of a gamble, unless Clement's got someone lined up as a replacement. Here's a spicy one for you. Should Rangers dig their heels in and hold onto Yilmaz as a key part of Clement's plans, or is this the perfect chance to offload him while his stock is high? What's your call? If you haven't seen yesterday's video yet, you're missing out. Explosive news about Rangers that'll leave every fan stunned. Go check it out now.